Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we are going to tackle something that, let's be honest, almost all of us struggle with. How to wake up early and actually feel good, not like you've been hit by a truck.
Welcome to SciSage. Our whole thing here is that even the most complicated science can be made simple. So let's break this down step by step, starting with a feeling we all know way too well.
It is the absolute worst, isn't it? You did everything right, you got your 8 hours, or at least you think you did, but when that alarm clock rings, your entire body is just begging for 10 more minutes. So what is going on?
Well, if you're sitting there nodding, listen, you're not alone. Not even close. A study of university students in Vietnam found that over a third, 33.1% to be exact, reported having poor quality sleep. This isn't some personal failure, it's a huge common problem.
Okay, so to figure out how to fix our mornings, we first have to understand what's happening under the hood. Your body basically has two main systems that run the whole sleep show. Just think of them as your internal clock and your internal timer.
So here's how they work. On one side, you've got your circadian rhythm. That's the clock. It runs on a 24-hour cycle, and its main cue is light. It tells your body when to be awake and when to power down. On the other side, you've got sleep pressure. That's the timer. This is all about a chemical that slowly builds up in your brain the longer you're awake, making you feel sleepier and sleepier.
And that timer chemical? It has a name, adenosine. All day long while you're working, eating, living, adenosine is just building up, building up, building up. The more of it you have, the higher that sleep pressure gets, and the more your body starts screaming, okay, it's time to rest. Now, this is where your morning cup of coffee comes in, and it's basically a master of disguise. See, as adenosine builds up and tries to plug into your brain's receptors to make you tired, caffeine shows up. Caffeine molecules look so similar to adenosine that they can swoop in and block those receptors. So your brain is totally fooled. It thinks it's wide awake because that timer signal is temporarily on pause. So when we finally do get to sleep, our brain is incredibly busy. It moves through these different stages in about a 90-minute cycle. You go from light sleep into that really good deep sleep for physical repair, and then into REM sleep, which is critical for your memory and emotions. Waking up from that deep sleep stage, that's what makes you feel so groggy and out of it.
Okay, so we understand the clock and the timer. Now, let's get practical. How do we actually use this to our advantage? We need to start working with our body, not against it, starting the second you wake up. Seriously, this might be the single most important thing you can do to feel more awake. As soon as you can, get some daylight in your eyes. Sunlight is the master switch that resets that internal clock. It sends a powerful signal to your entire body that says, hey, the day has started, and it locks in your wake-up time.
And what you do during the day is just as important. For one, lay off the caffeine in the afternoon. You've got to let that adenosine timer do its job naturally. Second, move your body. Being physically active makes it way easier to fall asleep later. And of course, try to avoid stimulants like nicotine because they'll just mess with your sleep.
All right, we've handled the day. Now it's time to master the night. This is all about creating the perfect conditions and sending clear signals to your brain that it's time to wind down for some deep, quality rest. Here's a simple 3-step playbook. First, dim your lights. Bright lights stop your brain from making melatonin, the sleep hormone. Try warmer, amber-colored lights. Second, unplug. Give yourself a solid 30 to 60 minutes with no screens before bed. The blue light from your phone is a major melatonin blocker. And third, relax your mind. This could be anything, meditation, some light stretching, or even something like yoga nidra, which is proven to help with anxiety. And don't forget, your bedroom itself is a tool. Believe it or not, calming colors like light blue or green have been shown to help people sleep longer. And here's a classic for a reason. Only use your bed for sleep and sex. That's it. You have to teach your brain that bed equals sleep. And this quote just nails it, right? It's all about building that super strong, healthy mental connection. When you get in bed, your brain should know exactly what's supposed to happen next. Sleep. But, what if you've tried all of this and you're still wide awake at night? Well, for some people, especially you natural night owls out there, you might be dealing with more than just a few bad habits.
There's actually a name for this. It's called delayed sleep phase disorder. It's a real circadian rhythm issue where your internal clock is just biologically set later than most people's. So falling asleep before 2 a.m. feels impossible, and you're often sharpest late at night. It is not about being lazy, it's about biology.
So what do you do when you're just lying there staring at the ceiling? Okay, this tip from sleep therapy might sound a little weird, but it's a game changer. If you haven't fallen asleep after 20 minutes or so, get out of bed. Go do something relaxing in low light, and don't come back to bed until you actually feel sleepy. This helps break that awful cycle of associating your bed with stress and frustration.
And of course, we gotta say this. These tips are here to help you understand the science. But if you have really persistent sleep problems, it is so important that you go talk with a doctor to figure out what's really going on. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. We tend to think of sleep as just this passive thing that happens to us. But what if that's wrong? What if sleep is actually a skill, something you can practice, improve, and get really good at? Because when you master your sleep, you unlock a better version of yourself all day long.